We kick things off with the promised talk between Haruka and Takayuki. Now, at this point, after how Haruka responded to what Mitsuki told her, you'd think this would play out differently than it does, but nope.
I always thought no matter what happened to us, we'd always remain friends. And if anything came between us, it'd work itself out. It won't. I know it's impossible.
I love Mitsuki.
Yup, screw Haruka. She's not Mitsuki, so the 7 deities have predetermined it impossible for her to be with Takayuki. Because who gives a shit about the crippled girl, right? Mitsuki is the true ultimate victim.
If she's in pain, it's my responsibility to heal it, no matter how long it takes.
I can't believe I have to deal with this, much less review it. You know, maybe I just don't understand Japan at all, but I cannot piece together the depressing rationalization required to arrive at the conclusion of Takayuki being responsible for Mitsuki. She fucking cheated on him. She banged his best friend. He owes her nothing. The only reason this makes sense within the show is because Takayuki-tron 4000 is incapable of feeling human emotion. If he could, Mitsuki sleeping with his best friend would have destroyed him. Instead, we're supposed to believe that this intentional, malevolent infidelity that is never brought up again is completely irrelevant because Takayuki gives no fucks whatsoever. I'm sorry, but no. So much, no. Maybe I could see them sitting down and talking things through, and maybe Takayuki could see a way to forgive her, but we never see that happen. Instead, no one, and I do mean no one, takes Mitsuki to task for being a cheating bitch, and everyone declares unanimously that it's Takayuki's fault, and Takayuki, who is too distracted by how many fingers he has, gets brainwashed into agreeing with them. There's no logic, sense, reason, argument, or even actual human emotion in any of it. The only way this could possibly work is if the relationship between Mitsuki and Takayuki was portrayed as abusive, with Mitsuki being very disrespectful and manipulative towards him in a way that was actually addressed, and him running back to her after her stunt was the wrong choice. But no, Takayuki staying with Mitsuki is the good end. I mean, I thought F was bad when it came to its relationships, but this is just insane now. And this is the show people praise for being so realistic. Idiots! Haruka says sorry, not sorry for permanently breaking it off with Takayuki, but even though he just said that it was his responsibility to care for Mitsuki and be with her, he is somehow devastated by this. I'm sorry, but what? Did they forget what they were writing halfway through this scene? Or is he just so broken up because he doesn't get to have that sweet three-way? Even worse is when Haruka finally tells us the story in that stupid rare book that Takayuki's been trying to get her since the beginning of the series. Oh man, prepare yourselves.
Once upon a time, Mayo the fairy lost her memory. It simply washed away. Until one day, a girl discovered her hiding in the bushes, and the two became friends. They played all spring, all summer, and into the autumn. But Mayo was not like the others. She aged differently from her new friends. In the end, her one last friend was the very first girl she had met so long ago. However, this girl had also grown up. Seeing her, and seeing the deep sadness in her eyes, Mile decided to give her a gift.
What did she give her?
The gift of parting words.
And my motivation for the review at this point is... fucking done! Wow! There just so happens to exist this children's book that had personal significance for Haruka that magically ended up mirroring her entire life experience. That's not lazy writing. There's no way you can call that contrived. Hyper-realistic! Even more hilariously, Akane conveniently and coincidentally decides to read this book for the very first time at the exact moment Haruka is describing it, for absolutely no reason. She's watching Takayuki and Haruka from the window at the hospital, but then just decides to pick up the book and read it for no reason whatsoever. Maybe she almost missed her cue and the director screamed from offset or something. I don't know. But this, this is the best part yet.
That's what brought you and I together. The story of Miles' gift.
That statement is not even 1% true, and its percentage of making sense might be negative. I don't know the exact numbers because it's so random and arbitrary that I can't begin to analyze it. There are no parallels to the story itself. The book didn't enter the plot until after they'd already been dating for months, and the only reason it was still relevant at all was because Takayuki never got to give it to her after the accident. Are you actually referencing that one time in the bookstore where Haruka couldn't reach the book on the top shelf and ran away in terror? Fuck off! For something apparently so relevant to the plot, it could not have been less relevant. Amazing!
I want us to part with a smile. Okay?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
No, don't care. I said I was fucking done, and I meant it. I don't have the energy to sort through all this minutia anymore. I don't care. I can't care. So you know what? Let's just cut to the chase and finish this off for good. Takayuki gets in touch with Shinji, who is totally happy not facing any repercussions for banging Mitsuki, and he meets with her on the hill. After more than 0, and therefore way too many, minutes of babbling and arguing, Takayuki and Mitsuki end up happy together. Wow. I'm sure somewhere in the world right now there's a celebration happening that has absolutely nothing to do with this, but I'm going to pretend they're happy about this too, because no one I know actually is. Slutty Susan celebrates her divorce certificate because the show has no idea what message it wants to deliver. Several years later, Haruka publishes a children's book, hopefully even shittier than Miles' gift. Akane becomes a successful swimmer despite the massive handicap her huge rocking tits would present, and we end on a shot of Haruka on the hill where Takayuki and Mitsuki presumably arrive to see her. Why? How? Didn't she say goodbye to them forever? Whatever, it's over, who cares? I don't even know what I just watched, guys. I literally don't. It's just such a mess, a total disaster. Yes, once again, and for all time, this anime is terrible! The idea of telling a realistic story about pain in relationships for the purpose of subverting typical romance story tropes is actually a good one. 500 Days of Summer did an excellent job of this. It set up a relationship portrayed exactly as a boy meets girl love story would be in any average movie, but then it just didn't work out. Not because either of the characters were awful people, but because they really didn't have anything in common. They were physically attracted to each other, they had sex, they had some fun together, but there wasn't anything more substantial beyond that. So they broke up. That's exactly what we have in Rumbling Hearts, but that relationship based on sex and superficial happiness is portrayed as the right answer. Takayuki and Mitsuki's romance is a disaster. It should never have started. It was never healthy, and it caused far more pain than joy. But at the end, we're just supposed to believe that everything's going to be happy and fine now because the music tells us so. Fuck off. Again. But let's get into all the storytelling aspects of the series itself so I can finally bring this all to a conclusion. Please, now! The characters are all terrible or pathetic. Yes, that even includes Akane, who can never bring herself to maintain a single stance or have a consistent character. Mitsuki is a horrible, selfish person who never does anything with any motivation that doesn't prominently benefit her. Takayuki is a piece of dumpster toast who can't seem to find a character motivation that the show doesn't dictate for him in any given scene or episode. He's either a complete asshole or unbelievably forgiving depending on the day because the writers had no idea what the hell they were doing, which brings me to the plot. I've said things like this before, but never this extreme, so here it is. This show should not exist. The only way this story can actually work is because of a single made-up bullshit plot point, and when that load-bearing event is the dumbest thing in the entire series, you've got a huge problem. I can't get into a story that's trying to portray hilariously fake events as completely serious, a la The Purge, and none of these characters are trying to give me a reason to. The art is lazy, giving no enhancement whatsoever to the already lifeless characters and bland scenes, and the music just barely exists. All of it adds up to a terrible series with nothing left to redeem it. It's not worth your money or your time. In fact, the only reason I reviewed it is so I don't ever have to think about it again. It's that bad. Whew. Well, all damn right. We did it, guys. We got to the end together. I don't know about you, but I think I'm done with romance anime for now. For a while, at the very least. So next time, don't even think about it. What? You throw something else at me, it'll end up in your ass. Don't do it. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, this has been 25 the Hard Way. I'm Will Ryan, and you couldn't let me finish my last sentence?
You need to tell them what you're going to do next time, don't you?
Yeah, fine. Oh. Well, all right then. It's finally time for the sun to rise again. Till next time. Hey guys, Will Ryan here. If you're new to our channel, go ahead and click that little icon right there in the middle of the screen to subscribe. And if you want to check out more in-depth dissection like what you just saw, go ahead and click on one of the 3 previous seasons of 25 the Hard Way. Enjoy yourselves and stay skeptical.